Hi guys, 18dap here and welcome to the latest matchday preview. It's Grimsby Town versus Doncaster Rovers in League 2. Let's get the video started. So guys, welcome to this match preview, Grimsby Town versus Doncaster Rovers in League 2. If you're an existing subscriber, thank you so much for supporting the channel and continuing to do so. If this video has brought you to the channel, please consider clicking subscribe. If you enjoy this sort of content, it will be an absolute pleasure to have you as part of the clan. If this video has brought you to the channel, this is the format that we go through match previews. We look at the previous meetings between the two clubs, current form across all competitions. I choose a Doncaster Rovers player to say a few words about, and then I choose my opponent's one to watch. So the player I think is the key player for Grimsby Town in this one. If you know your club much better than what I do though, so if you think somebody else should be involved or included in that part of the video, please get me in the comments down below. And then we'll finish the video off with three predictions: the predicted team lineup thanks to FanHub, the predictions league table, there is a big update on that one for the family, and then the all important score prediction at the very end. So without further ado, let's get into previous meetings. Grimsby and Donny faced off a total of 49 times in our history. Rovers slightly worse off with only 18 wins, Grimsby with 21, and then we've shared the spoils on 10 occasions. But we look down at, we look in more depth at the more recent 5 fixtures, and Rovers just edge it with 3 wins in the last 5, but it is hit and miss. So back in 2018 in the League Trophy it was a 2-0 win, and then in 2019 in the League Cup it was a 1-0 defeat, and then in League 2 last season we traded blows with a 3-1 away win. It'd be nice to see that tomorrow, and then a 2-1 defeat at home, and then earlier this season we won 1-0 at home. So yeah, hit and miss in more recent history. Current form though does lean towards Donny in this one. Although we've got the 2 defeats there, we are unbeaten in 3 with a draw, a win and a draw. Grimsby on the other hand, yeah, hit and miss. So a defeat, a draw, a defeat, a draw and a defeat in their last 5. For Donny though, another big result midweek where we earned a point at Salford, which just kept that gap between us and the bottom 2 to 10 points, which is a healthy gap, but we're certainly not out of the woods by any stretch of the imagination. Lots of football to be played between now and the end of the season. We should have been out of sight in that game though, which is slightly disappointing. Could have had the 3 points, but a wonderful free kick near the end meant that we shared the spoils on the night. As I mentioned, we're unbeaten in 3, which is something that we've not achieved all season, so it'd be nice to make that unbeaten in 4 and continue this decent little run of form that we find ourselves in. We do look more confident on the ball, and I think the draw at Sutton, grinding out that result, could be the catalyst to us pushing on for the remainder of the season. I think if we'd have been beaten there, would we have won? Would we have drawn? Who knows? But I just think that draw at Sutton was, or could be, vital for our season this season. On to Grimsby, struggling for form a little bit at the moment, and without a win in 5, as I mentioned, and that's seen them drop to 21st ahead of Colchester, who they should have played midweek, but that game was postponed. They're just ahead of Colchester on goal difference. Grimsby, the 6 points above the bottom 2, so they'll be desperate, as are Doncaster, to get points on the board and keep away from the dreaded trapdoor to non-league. For Grimsby though, home comforts aren't a thing at the moment, with 18 goals conceded in their last 5, so that saw defeats in 4 of those 5 games and an incredible 5-5 draw against Notts County sandwiched in the middle of those defeats at home. So I think it's a really good opportunity for Doncaster to go and try and express themselves a little bit and get some goals, but it's going to be a tough game. It always is at Blundell Park. On to play profile for Doncaster. So for this one I've gone with Matthew Craig, 20-year-old defensive midfielder, currently on loan from Spurs, and I think Matthew's growing into the role at the club in the defensive midfield, in the pocket between the defence and midfield, and he's just looking better and better each and every game. He's always looking to get on the ball, make something happen, and I think that's been needed since the loss of Westbrook and more recently Close. But I like what I'm seeing with Matthew. I think there's a player in there for sure, and I think the fact that if he loses a ball, he's still wanting to get on it, I think it shows a bit of maturity beyond his years as well. And Matthew was rewarded midweek with an assist, so I hope there's plenty more of those to come, and a couple tomorrow at Blundell Park. That would be nice. Moving on to the opponent's one to watch. So as I said at the start of the video, you know your club much better than what I do, so if somebody else should be involved or included in this part, get them in the comments down below. But for this one, I have gone with a fairly obvious option in Danny Rose. 30 years old, centre forward, Grimsby's top scorer this season in a tough season. He's got 12 goals across all competitions, 3 assists as well. But he's one of those players, isn't he? He's been around the block, 431 appearances across his career, 93 goals, 26 assists. And I think he's just one of those players that can win you points if he's not kept under wraps. Obviously, there's Issa as well that we've got to watch out for, but I think that focal point in Danny Rose, I think if you cut him out, I think we've got a good chance of coming home with another point, if not more. But yeah, very, very good player, and he's a player that could keep you in this division, in my opinion. Certainly a decent League 2 striker. Onto my predicted team lineup. So this is thanks to FanHub. If you've not downloaded the app yet, please go ahead and do so. Plenty of features to get your teeth stuck into and be rewarded for following your club. For the predicted team lineup for me though, I've gone with unchanged from last time, from the last video. It may be unchanged from Tuesday night, which would mean that this one is wrong. But I've gone with Lo Tatala in goal, a back four of Sterry at right back, McGrath back in at centre back with Wood and Senior at left back, midfield 3 of Craig, Bailey and Waters, and then a front 3 of Molyneux, Adelaken and Ironside. And that front 3 could potentially have an absolute field day if Grimsby's recent home form continues, and we're on our game. We will see if that is the confirmed team lineup tomorrow, and we'll see how far away I am. Onto the predictions league table. So this is good reading for me. If you're new to this, me and the family predict the scoreline for every league game. If you get it spot on, you get 3 points. If you get the outcome of the game right but not the scoreline, you get 1 point. If you get it completely wrong, you get no points. And I was the only one which went with a draw. I went with 2-2, so I get the 3 points. All the rest of the family went with wins against Salford, so I extend my lead at the top to 12 points, 26 points. Top of the table, Chris in second on 14, Max in third on 13, and Dad in fourth on 10. I think I'm quietly confident that the trophy is coming back to me this season. And that takes me on to my score prediction for this one. And like I said, Grimsby, it's a tough place to go. It's a bit of a derby. There's a bit of rivalry between the sets of fans. So I think that may spill out onto the pitch, and it may be a tasty game. But I'm hoping Grimsby's current home form continues and they allow us to score a few goals. And I'm hoping that our form continues as well and we'll make it 4 unbeaten. And I think that confidence from the Sutton draw, I think the draw against Salford midweek and the win against Tranmere on Saturday, I think put all those together and we're starting to tick along a little bit. So I'm hoping that continues. And I'm backing the boys in this one. I'm going Grimsby 1, Doncaster Rovers 3. We'll see if I'm right tomorrow, come 5:15. But that's where I'm going to leave this one. If you've enjoyed it, stick a big thumbs up on it for us, please. Comments in the section down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.